Markets close the session in red. Sensex loses almost 55 points. Nifty closes 20 points down. Pharma stock zoom. Campaigning ends in 89 Lok Sabha seats spread over 7 states and 2 union territories, including all 26 seats in Gujarat and 13 in Punjab. Polling to be held on Wednesday. And the El Nino threat increases. HDFC and Bank of America Merrill Lynch report says El Nino could impact India's economic growth. ASSOCHAM says production of pulses is likely to get hit and affect the household budget. Well, hello and welcome to Business Wrap. I'm Sidhant, Sibal, and let's start with the news from the Dalal Street. The markets ended in red for the second day in a row today, triggered by the IMD announcing that the country will likely to get below normal levels of monsoon rain this year. Sensex lost 56 points to end at 22,632 levels, while NSE Nifty was down 21 points at 6,761 levels. Capital goods stocks edged lower. Hindustan Unilever declined in volatile trade after announcing Q4 results. The S&P BSE mid-cap index was nearly up 1%. Pharma stocks gained as rupee edged lower against the dollar. Weakness in rupee could boost sales of pharma companies in rupee terms as pharma firms derive substantial revenue from exports. Gainers on the chart were Cipla, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's Lab, Wipro and SBI, which were up by between 3 to 1%. Losers on the chart were Gail India, BHEL, Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors and L&T, which were down by between 2 to 1%. The market breadth indicating the overall health of the market was positive. It turned positive from negative in late trade. Well, on to global market action. The European stocks edged higher on Monday with a slew of mergers and acquisition news seen improving sentiments in the market. Key benchmark indices in UK, France and Germany were up by between 0.27% to 0.83%. On to Asian market action. The Asian stocks fell on Monday as investors weighed company earnings amidst prospects for additional sanctions against Russia over the Ukraine crisis. Key benchmark indices in Japan, China, Indonesia, Hong Kong, South Korea and Singapore were off by between 0.12% to 1.62%. Taiwan weight was up 0.41%. Well, campaigning has ended for the 7th phase of the 9-phase Lok Sabha elections that will be held in 7 states and 2 union territories on Wednesday. 89 constituencies will go to the polls on that day. Elections will be held in all 26 Lok Sabha seats in Gujarat, 19 seats in Andhra Pradesh, 7 seats in Bihar, 13 in Punjab, 14 seats in Uttar Pradesh, 19 seats in West Bengal and 1 seat each in Jammu and Kashmir, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. Polling will also be held for 119 assembly seats in Andhra Pradesh and by-polls for 7 assembly seats in Gujarat, 2 seats in Uttar Pradesh and 1 seat each in Bihar and West Bengal. Well, the political bigwigs whose fate will be decided in this phase include BJP's Chief Ministerial candidate Narendra Modi, Congress leader Madhusudan Mistry, Shankar Singh Waghela, L.K. Advani, Pravesh Rawal and Dinsa Patel. Well, prominent leaders in Andhra Pradesh whose electoral fortunes will be decided include K. Chandrasekhar Rao, Jayapal Reddy and Asauddin Owaisi. Well, fortune of actor turned politician Vinod Khanna, Congress leader Pratap Singh Bajwa, BJP leader Arun Jaitley, Congress leader Captain Amrinder Singh and Ambika Soni, Manpreet Singh Badal, Harsimrat Kaur Badal, Sukhdev Singh Dinsa and Union Minister Parineet Kaur will also be decided in this phase from Punjab. Well, in West Bengal, political fate of music director turned politician Bappil Heri and BJP leader Chandan Mitra will also be decided in this phase. Well, Union Minister Jatin Prasad, BJP President Rajnath Singh, Congress leader Rita Bahuguna Joshi, Congress President Sonia Gandhi, BJP leader Murli Manohar Joshi, Union Minister Shri Prakash Jaiswal, BJP leader Uma Bharti and Union Minister PL Punia's fate will also be sealed on Wednesday. Well, in Jammu and Kashmir, fate of Union Minister and NC leader Farooq Abdullah will be decided in the 7th phase. JDU leader Sharad Yadav is the lone prominent candidate in the 7th phase from Madhepura Lok Sabha seat from Bihar. Well, El Nino threat is increasing day by day. According to some recent reports, El Nino may impact India's GDP and inflation. In another report, industry body ASSOCHAM has warned that production of pulses is likely to get severely hit due to El Nino, and it could affect households' budget the way onion brought tears to the common man.
An El Nino-induced below-normal monsoon this year could have a bearing on inflation and economic growth in the current financial year. An HSBC report said inflation may remain sticky in the current financial year as a possible El Nino effect on the monsoon is likely to push up food prices, and geopolitical uncertainties are likely to pump up global commodity rates. Another report of the Bank of America Merrill Lynch said that an El Nino-induced drought poses a 50-75 basis points risk to India's 2014-15 growth forecast of 5.4% and could result in a spike in inflation levels to around 8 to 10%. BofA ML said if rains are normal, CPI inflation could come off to 7-7.5% by March 2015, and if the El Nino impacts the Kharif harvest, rising food prices would push up CPI inflation to 8 to 10%. The RBI may eventually respond by tightening policy rates further to contain upside risk to prices and to bring inflation to 6% or below by early 2016. The RBI's target is to ease retail inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index to 8% by January 2015 and 6% by January 2016. Both retail and wholesale price inflation accelerated in March due to rising food prices. The RBI had increased the key policy repo rate 3 times since Raghuram Rajan took over as governor in September to contain inflation. In another report, industry body ASSOCHAM stated that if El Nino weighs on the monsoon, the production of pulses is likely to get severely hit and affect the household's budget the way onion brought tears to the common man. The major pulse-producing states like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, which together account for about 80% of the total production, may witness less rainfall affecting its output and prices. The demand-supply mismatch of pulses is putting further pressure on prices of this staple food, and therefore timely precautionary steps need to be taken. The report added that despite the rise in production in the last 3 years, domestic demand is likely to continue to be more than the supplies in the coming years. After 4 years of normal and above normal monsoon, India is expected to have below normal monsoon this year, with rainfall projected to be at 95%. India Meteorological Department officials said monsoon is expected to be below normal because of the El Nino effect, which is generally associated with the warming of ocean water. Business Bureau, DD News.
Well, time for a short break. More after this break.
बांगड़ सीमेंट सस्ता नहीं सबसे अच्छा।
जो मेरी काबिलियत और रोजगार की दूरी को कम करता है, मेरा वोट उसी को। मेरा वोट कांग्रेस को।
पंडित जी, मेरी और मेरे भाई की बराबर की जमीन है, लेकिन वो मालामाल हो रहा है और मैं कंगाल। मेरी भाग्य रेखा देखकर बताइए ना।
ये भाग्य का नहीं, तुम्हारे काम के तरीके का दोष है। तुम्हारा भाई फसल चक्रानुसार खेती करता है, माइक्रो पद्धति से सिंचाई करता है और वर्षा के पानी का संचय भी करता है।
समझ गया पंडित जी।
दयाराम तो समझ गया। आप अपना भाग्य कब संवारेंगे?
जल बचाएं, कल बचाएं।
एक खिलाड़ी अकेला पूरे मैच को नहीं जिता सकता, इसलिए हमारा वोट उसी को जाएगा जो अकेले नहीं पूरे टीम के साथ खड़ा हो। हमारा वोट कांग्रेस को।
Welcome back. Brushing aside US charges over its intellectual property rights, Laws India said that its rules and norms are transparent and fully compliant with the WTO regime. US companies and trade lobby group allege that India's IPR regime is not compliant with the international norms and discriminates against them, especially in the pharmaceuticals and the solar sectors. Meanwhile, the US ambassador to India, Nancy Powell, has suggested that India should engage in discussions related to intellectual property rights. US Ambassador to India, Nancy Powell, recommended India to engage in discussions related to intellectual property rights. The United States has listed India in priority watch lists, countries whose practices on protecting intellectual property, which it believes should be closely monitored.
And while we are strongly opposed to forced local content requirements, we are sympathetic to the desire to develop a stronger manufacturing sector and are ready to discuss how India might develop that capacity in a way that does not constrain trade.
Early in March, the US voiced concerns over protection of patents on safer and more effective next-generation medicines in India. Powell added the United States wants to see bilateral trade to grow to $500 billion a year. It was about $100 billion currently. On the other hand, Secretary of the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Amitabh Kant, stressed that the US immigration reform bill is imperative to the IT sector.
And towards this, it's important that the US immigration reform bill must address the concerns of the India information technology industries.
Capital investment contributes nearly 35% to India's $1.8 trillion economy, but it barely grew in the fiscal year that ended in March as delays in clearances from various ministries and funding issues grounded many projects. The United States sees India as a natural ally on a range of issues and a potential counterbalance to China in Asia. In 2010, President Barack Obama declared the US-Indian relationship would be one of the most defining partnerships of the 21st century. Trade in goods was $63.7 billion last year, and the US Vice President Joe Biden last year called for that to grow to $500 billion in 5 years. Business Bureau, DD News. Well, the 28-member European Union has temporarily banned the import of Alfonso mango, the king of fruits, and 4 vegetables from India from 1st of May. The recent decision by the Grouping Standard Committee on Plant Health came after 207 consignments of fruits and vegetables from India imported into the EU in 2013 were found to be contaminated by pests. The temporary ban includes mangoes, eggplant, taro plant, bitter gourd and snake gourd. Wholesalers said that especially in the Indian dominated region of the UK have opposed the ban, which comes into effect on 1st of May, saying that it will hit them. Well, on to other top business news of the day. Telecom operator Reliance Communication today announced a tripartite agreement with Tata Teleservices and Aircel to provide 3G roaming services to each other's customers using their network across the country. Arcom and Aircel have permits for 3G services in 13 out of 22 service areas, while Tata Teleservices has a permit in 9 circles. Saudi Arabia's market has captured 7% of the global trade and business in diamonds, according to a report. The main reason for this was fall in the prices of gold by 25% in the last year. According to an earlier report, Saudi Arabia has captured 20% of the global trade and business in the precious stones. Well, pay 200 rupees in shipping fee and get same-day delivery from Flipkart. The e-commerce major today launched same-day guarantee delivery in 10 cities. Customers can place their order by 12 noon on a business day to have their orders delivered to them by 9 p.m. on the same day. Flipkart said the service is available in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Noida, Gurgaon, Faridabad, Manesar, Navi Mumbai and Thane. Well, Walmart paid about $234 million in debt related to the purchase of a stake in its Indian joint venture with Bharti Enterprises, which the US retailer ended in October last year. This was reported in Walmart's 2014 annual report. Walmart, the world's largest retailer, had earlier paid $100 million to take over its Indian partner's 50% stake in Bharti Walmart. The transaction resulted in a net loss of about $151 million. Well, according to information technology research and advisory company Gartner, the public cloud services market in India will grow 32.2% in 2014 to touch $556.8 million as against $421 million in 2013. Spending on software as service or SaaS, the largest overall cloud market segment, will total around $220 million in 2014, followed by infrastructure as a service. Well, pharmaceutical firm Wockhardt today said that the Himachal Pradesh drug regulator has revoked the suspension imposed on sales and manufacture of a combination of medicine used for treatment of pain. Last week, the company had said that Himachal Pradesh State Drug Controller has suspended the manufacture, sale or distribution of the said FDC medicine. Reacting to the news, shares of Wockhardt jumped on the BSE. Slovakia and Ukraine have reached a deal that will allow gas from Central Europe to reach Ukraine via Slovakia. Under the deal, Slovakia will reinstate a disused pipeline that will be capable of supplying 3 billion cubic meters or BCM of gas a year to Ukraine. Ukraine has been looking for alternatives to Russian gas, which last year accounted for around half of its 55 BCM consumption. Well, credit ratings agency Standard & Poor's has cut Russia's rating to one notch above junk status. The move comes as foreign investors continue to take money out of the country amidst tensions over the situation in Ukraine. S&P's downgrade of Russia is from BBB to BBB negative. And finally, retail sales in Japan grew at its fastest pace in 17 years in March as consumers rushed to make purchases ahead of the sale tax hike in April. Sales jumped 11% during the month from a year ago, the most since March 1997. Japan raised its sale tax, also known as consumption tax, to 8% from 5% from 1st of April, the first hike in almost 17 years. Well, time for a short break. More after this break.
जो मेरी काबिलियत और रोजगार की दूरी को कम करता है, मेरा वोट उसी को, मेरा वोट कांग्रेस को।
बांगड़ सीमेंट सस्ता नहीं सबसे अच्छा।
महिलाएं हैं भारत के मजबूत हाथ। महिलाओं को मिलेगा जीविका के लिए 1 लाख रुपए तक का आसान लोन और उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए पुलिस फोर्स में होंगी 25% महिलाएं। कांग्रेस की टीम है आपके साथ। हर हाथ शक्ति, हर हाथ तरक्की।
ओ अंकल, ये गाड़ी दे दे, मुझे निकलना है।
गलत आदमी को अपनी गाड़ी नहीं देते तो देश क्यों?
इंडिया वोट स्मार्ट।
Well, investments and more investments. Well, that is what the India Inc. wants from the new government. Aditya Puri, Managing Director of the HDFC Bank, which is the second largest private sector bank in India, in an exclusive conversation with DD News, spoke about various issues concerning the economy and banking sector. Our correspondent Shama Mishra spoke exclusively to him.
We have with us Aditya Puri, the MD of HDFC Bank, one of the largest private sector banks. Thank you for talking to us, sir. Your initiative that you've created a Guinness Book of World Records of organizing largest blood donation camps in a single day. Please elaborate on it.
See, when we've been doing this for about 7 years. It started as a small initiative, and at that point in time, we only collected 4,000 bottles. But it was the commitment of the employees and the bank together that we said, we want to make a difference and give back to society. And we've got multiple initiatives, I'll cover them for you, where we said, let's get scale. So over a period of time, and this can only be done if the employees buy into it. So our campaign, when we go in for the blood donation camps, is done in every single branch.
Talking about financial inclusion, what's your take on financial inclusion, and also how you doing the financial literacy?
See, financial inclusion, when we debated it in the board, we think financial inclusion does not mean just the opening of a bank account. We feel that financial inclusion should change the financial capability of the individual that we are dealing with in being able to provide him a sustainable livelihood.
This was about financial literacy. Now, जब हम बात करते हैं बैंकिंग की, तो हमारे देश का आधे से ज़्यादा पॉपुलेशन अनबैंक्ड है. तो HDFC क्या कर रहा है बैंकिंग रूरल क्षेत्र में ले जाने के लिए?
अब बैंकिंग रूरल से हम नो फ्रिल्स अकाउंट भी खोल रहे हैं. वहाँ मेजर चीज़ थी ये आधार के साथ वहाँ आइडेंटिफिकेशन की इशू होती है. तो रिजर्व बैंक ने बात की है बैंक्स के साथ. सब बैंक्स को एलोकेटेड क्षेत्र है जहाँ दे हैव टू गो एंड ओपन द अकाउंट्स फुली. बिकॉज द अदर प्रॉब्लम इज़ कि जो सब्सिडी हम देते हैं जिनको मिलनी चाहिए 70% उनको मिलती नहीं, तो फ़ायदा क्या हुआ?
चलिए अब इलेक्शंस की तरफ अपना ध्यान ले जाते हैं. अगला गवर्नमेंट जो भी होगा, अगला गवर्नमेंट आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं उनसे, एंड विच आर द एरियाज यू थिंक दैट रिक्वायर द मोस्ट अटेंशन इंक्लूडिंग द CAD?
तो करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट तो कंट्रोल में आ गया. अब फिजिकल डेफिसिट में इनको GST जरूर लाना चाहिए, क्योंकि उससे कम से कम 1% डेफिसिट कम हो जाएगा. साथ में डायरेक्ट टैक्स कोड तक की सिंप्लीफिकेशन और ज़्यादा आदमी टैक्स में आने चाहिए. सब्सिडी में ये तो इट कैन नॉट बी एनीबडी इस केस कि भाई जो गरीब आदमी है उसकी मदद होनी चाहिए. तो सब्सिडी में रैशनलाइजेशन एंड मेकिंग श्योर दैट इट रीचेज द पीपल. ऑल्सो हमारा एग्रीकल्चर में कितना वेस्टेज हो जाता है और वहीं से इन्फ्लेशन आ रहा है. तो एग्रीकल्चर रिफॉर्म्स चाहिए, मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस की रिफॉर्म चाहिए, कोल्ड चेन की रिफॉर्म चाहिए, पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम का रिफॉर्म चाहिए.
Thank you very much for talking to us, sir.
Well, this week marks the 9th anniversary of YouTube, as the first ever video was uploaded on this popular video sharing website 8 years back. Take a look at this journey on this social site.
YouTube celebrated its 9th anniversary this week. 8 years back, on 23rd of April, Javed Karim, one of the co-founders of the YouTube, uploaded its first ever video called Me at the Zoo. YouTube was bought by Google for $1.65 billion on 9th of October in 2006. Even though the company is part of a giant family, YouTube users' experience has remained largely unchanged since Google purchased it. According to YouTube, users worldwide upload 100 hours of video every minute, and more than 6 billion hours of video are watched each month. More than 1 billion unique users visit YouTube each month, and 80% of traffic comes outside the United States. It not only provides a forum for people to connect, inform and inspire others across the globe, but has become a modern day visit for most of the netizens, which has hub of videos. It has become our search engine for video, music and just about anything we think we might have seen once on television or in the movies. YouTube was founded in 2005 by Chad Hurley, Steve Chen and Javed Karim. The trio met at PayPal, where they were all former employees. The domain name youtube.com was activated on Valentine's Day in 2005, and the site was developed months after. And the most viewed video of all time goes to music video for Psy's Gangnam Style with 1.9 billion views.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.
The 19-second journey of Javed Karim at the zoo has now grown into a giant platform which inspires many to make and share their own expeditions. Clearly, YouTube has changed the way we consume media of all kinds, and it's just the beginning.
Well, time for the recap of the main headlines now. Markets closed the session in red as Sensex loses almost 55 points. Nifty closes 20 points down. Pharma stocks zoom. Campaigning ends in 89 Lok Sabha seats spread over 7 states and 2 union territories, including all 26 seats in Gujarat and 13 in Punjab, polling to be held on Wednesday. An El Nino threat increases. HDFC and Bank of America Merrill Lynch report says El Nino could impact India's economic growth. ASSOCHAM says production of pulses is likely to get hit and affect the household's budget. Well, that's all in this edition of Business Wrap. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.
Business Wrap was brought to you by Sri Ultra Red